What is going on, everybody? Simply 10 here with another episode of Simply 10 News, a weekly video series in which I cover all the recent leaks, reveals, and other rumors surrounding the LEGO world. This week's episode of Simply 10 News has sadly been delayed until Thursday, obviously, as you know, you can see the release date of this video. And I really apologize for that, but that's because I was waiting for this exact LEGO set that I'm about to show to you guys to come out. Obviously, a ton of other things have happened this week in the world of LEGO, which I'll be sure to cover in next week's episode, but I really wanted this episode to be all about one very specific, very awesome LEGO set. And it's a brand new LEGO set that I thought would be revealed like on May 4th, because that would make the most sense because it's LEGO Star Wars, and May the 4th, I mean, you know what that is, right? And the Bad Batch episode even came out on May the 4th, and I actually understand now why LEGO didn't reveal this LEGO set, but now that we finally have pictures of it from LEGO officially, it's time to dive into everything that you might want to know about this brand new LEGO set that's really cool, really awesome, and one that I've probably already pre-ordered by the time this video has been posted. Alright, so the LEGO set that you all came here for is set number 75314, the Bad Batch Shuttle. This set comes with 969 pieces and will be released on August 1st of 2021 for ages 9 and up. Now, obviously, the age thing is just a suggestion, so let's just get that out of the way before I continue this video. Like, you don't have to be over the age of 9 to get this LEGO set, but that's highly irrelevant to the overall set in general because it's really awesome. I know it's been getting some flack for the fact that it's sand blue, but I have no idea, honestly, what color of the Bad Batch Shuttle is. After seeing the first episode, there really was no good shot of it being in clear light, and honestly, in a couple of parts when I feel like there was the best lighting, it did look kind of blue. And the fact that Disney approved this LEGO set means that they think it's kind of blue, and if it is kind of blue, then I don't think that's LEGO's fault because Disney had to have approved this LEGO set because the Bad Batches were like one of their biggest marketing things this year. So they obviously had to approve this really big, awesome release of a really cool LEGO set. So if it's not blue and it ends up being gray in the show, then I don't think that's LEGO's fault because they only had very certain pictures to work off of most likely. And honestly, even if it does turn out to be just a gray color, I think that this blue actually looks quite fine. And like compared to like the blurry images that we got of it, it actually looks a lot better when it's like a very nice, clear, crisp look at this same LEGO set. In addition to this, I think that the 969 pieces is actually very generous for $100. Like, you consider the fact that we got a 999 piece, what was it called? Resistance transport ship. That was the Galaxy's Edge, like, exclusive cool thing, and it came with 3 figures, and one of them was a Gonk droid, so, you know, you can draw some parallels there. Whereas with this one, it comes with 30 less pieces and 3 more figures for the same exact price. And honestly, if a figure is worth only 10 pieces, then that is definitely not true, and I honestly can't believe that LEGO only priced this at $100. Obviously, the build itself isn't very substantial, and I'm very glad that LEGO didn't decide to price this higher. All I'm saying is that they could have, because I feel like it is very generous in terms of the figure selection, especially for LEGO Star Wars, for what you're getting. And honestly, I don't think LEGO could have done any better because you don't want to price it too high because you don't want to alienate anyone who wanted to go and get this because this is arguably like the biggest like Disney like thing this year. So if you make your only thing you're going to make for this really cool Star Wars show too expensive, then no one's going to want it. But if you make it too cheap, then it's going to be kind of lame and people are going to be like, why? People would have been asking for the Bad Batch Shuttle and they would have been asking for something more expensive. So I think that $100 is a very good happy medium, and I'm glad that that's like sort of what they decided to stick to when they were designing it. In terms of the 5 figures themselves, I think they are very, very well designed. I really like the look of each and every one of them, and I'm actually really glad that Crosshair is like in his Empire outfit because that's, you know, that's what he's going to be from now on. And like I said earlier, I was going to say why I thought it made sense why LEGO didn't reveal this a little bit sooner, and it's because of Crosshair, because Disney didn't want to like spoil the fact that Crosshair would turn evil, because most people have watched the new Bad Batch episode a few days later, so I mean by now it seems like it's pretty safe to reveal that Crosshair will be the one who turns evil in the Bad Batch. And as cool as it would have been to get like a Bad Batch version of Crosshair, I think it's even cooler to get like a more current version of this figure. In addition to this, as unique and cool as these figures look, I actually think that the only like custom mold for this LEGO set is Tech's helmets. I do not believe that any of these other things have never been used before by LEGO, and I actually can't even guarantee that Tech's helmet hasn't been, but it just seems too specific, and it is very likely that that is the first time that LEGO has ever produced a piece in that mold. I also like the fact how 3 of these Bad Batch figures appear in the top corner of the box because it's finally like showing that LEGO actually understands that they need some continuity in their boxes, and the fact where like the person who the set is based after should be the one in the corner rather than putting Darth Vader there every single time. However, as a negative to this continuity, they also put like this weird random like radiant fade behind the figures in the corner, which is something that LEGO has never done with any of their other brand new LEGO sets. So once again, even though they did something good by sticking to the trend, they also did something really weird and kind of like non-trendy in terms of where they're going with their LEGO boxes. The only figure that people will probably be sad that they left out was Omega, but honestly to me, Omega was just kind of cheesy and just like, why is she kind of here sort of thing. Like, I'm sure she'll grow on me, but in terms of just the first episode, it was just like, I want this to be like this really epic, cool thing with the Bad Batch, but you're putting like a little girl into it. But like I said before, I said my mean thing about Omega. I'm sure that I'll like her eventually. Just right now, I am just fine with her not being in this Lego set. In terms of the features of the set, I'm actually really glad that you can actually fit all 4 of the current members of the Bad Batch into this shuttle. As cool as it would have been to also fit Crosshair in, I can understand why Lego would decide not to like put forth the extra effort to fit someone in who's not part of the Bad Batch anymore. And I actually think it's very cool how you can fit 2 figures in the cockpit, because usually there's only one who can fit there, and then the rest have to be shoved in the back. But you can actually fit 2 figures in the cockpit, which is pretty cool, especially considering the fact that it looks pretty small from the outside. LEGO did a very good job at maximizing the interior space of the set, and I'm just really happy that they didn't like make it so one of the figures doesn't fit, because that would make perfect sense, because they put a speeder bike in here, which would imply that a figure wouldn't be able to fit inside of the shuttle, and instead they'd have to ride around on the speeder bike. But instead they decided to just include a speeder bike because they thought it'd be really cool, and I think that that is really cool. And I actually really like the color of the speeder bike. It's very unique, very different, and I can't wait to see it in the show. Like, I'm curious to see if it actually appears in the show. I hope it does, because that would make it even more accurate than it already is. And it adds like a great little chase thing to Crosshair speed bikes. So not only do you have the Bad Batch shuttle, you also have like a little bit of fun conflict, because you get 2 speeder bikes now that can sort of chase each other around if you're into that sort of thing. The wings appear to be a very similar mechanism compared to the Imperial shuttle that we got this March. And there's definitely no complaints there, because those Imperial shuttle wings are definitely like a really great design, and the Bad Batch shuttle wings are a great design as well. And I like how there's like a little bit of Technic integrated in it as well. That way like the wings are probably a lot more stable than they would have been without the Technic. And like, just look at this front view and then compare it to the front view of it in the show. Like, just look at how crazy like similar those 2 front views are, because I really feel like LEGO did a good job of capturing that like very strange shape of the front view of the Bad Batch shuttle. But yeah, anyways, as quirky and interesting as the Bad Batch shuttle design looks, I actually really like the look of it, and I like the contrast of the red windows with the blue ship. And then even with like the neon green speeder bike versus like the darker color speeder bike, there's a lot of really fun conflicting colors in this LEGO set, and it makes it look really awesome and very fun. And I can't wait to get my hands on it when it comes out this August. But yeah, anyways, that is all that I have to say for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I'm so sorry for this delayed episode, but I'm sure you understand now, just like I know now why LEGO decided to release this LEGO set a few days later than I expected them to. And I will be sure to be back on track next week, so don't worry about that one. In addition to this, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to really consider subscribing, because I make content like this very often, in fact about twice a week. So if you enjoy today's, make sure that you come back for next week's, because it's going to be sort of the same thing, just with different content and different information. And there are even prizes if you guys can get me to 1,000 subscribers, so just keep all of that in mind. But if you're already subscribed, or you just, enjoyed this episode, be sure to let me know by leaving a like or even a comment in the section down below, letting me know what I did well, what I should change, or what your favorite thing about this brand new Bad Batch shuttle is. And it's okay if you don't do any of those things, because what I'm really hoping for is that I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.